So for you in the 90-90, we found that your hip didn't turn on, and we're trying to turn it on. This would apply for a warm-up, and it's also a training tool as well, like a way to just train tissue until it's like tired, right? Until it's fatigued. So for you, we can go about this 2 ways. Sit up tall. So when we do like pails and rails, a pail is squeezing stretched tissue. A rail is squeezing shortened tissue. What you're gonna do is just the rail, which is gonna be you holding that out to the side. So think when we were in the 90-90, in this position, I asked you to lift your foot up like this, and you felt your knee. Because your hip didn't turn on, we're turning your hip on in this drill to have carryover to our 90-90. So what I want you to do is think about dorsiflexing the ankle, foot out to the stairs here, internally rotate, extend the spine and anteriorly tilt your pelvis. Do you feel your hip contracting there? A lot? Is it crampy?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you feel like it would get there if you held it?
Yeah.
Hold it, get further, try to breathe through that. You're gonna sit here and hold it until it fails. So we're doing something called an EQI, meaning you are isometrically holding this, right? You're not moving, it's an isometric, and it's gonna fail into an eccentric. You could tell eventually you would start falling, right? Like the leg would start falling inward. And the point is that you are holding it so long so that you have no choice but to let it fall. How hard is that at the moment?
Hard.
Get there, hold it.
I'm like shaking.
Yeah, and so another thing too is generally speaking, I would look for more range of motion than that. I would want your foot to like come out almost to here. So the 90-90 that we did would make this bigger,
right.
And then you can make use of it here too. You're here for 45 seconds. Try to give me another 45 seconds. Good, keep sitting up tall. Do you feel your back at all? Or all hip? Good, keep holding it. You got another 30 seconds. Good, keep squeezing it. Don't just hold the leg there. Try to contract your hip harder and more deliberately, right? Can you be very deliberate in squeezing it to then hold the foot there? Got another 10, 9, don't tilt to the side, stay up tall, 8, 7, 6, 5, trying to run away from my hand, 4, don't touch my hand, 3, don't let your spine move, 2, 1, and relax. That was hard, right? And all we did was hold your leg without any weight on it. Right, and like you could add weight to it if you wanted to make that one step further, but all we did was rotate the leg in isolation. You're holding it until it cramps and fails, and you're trying to not let it fall out of the end range. Go ahead and rotate out to me the other leg, sit up tall, dorsiflex the ankle, bring it out to me. Do you see how much better that is, how much more range you have? I expect when we do the 90-90 on this leg, it's gonna be easier to find, and we'll do that, and then we're gonna revisit this leg so that you can see the differences again, okay, and kind of pull that apart. Do you see how much you're shaking too?
Yeah.
Good, hold it.
I found it.
You found it? Okay. Does it want to cramp?
Yeah.
Okay, breathe through it, try to make it cramp. Like chase it. I know, you really don't want to, I can tell.
My inner hip wants to cramp.
Really? The inner thigh too? So relax for a sec, keep your foot there. Now rotate your leg out further.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're clenching too hard against it. Okay, I'm okay with that. Go ahead and go out then. Try that too. Do you feel the difference there? Well, that's another thing is that if you were to rotate from here, that's your knee rotating. Right. Keep that more neutral, initiate from here. You feel the difference there, right? I think that's a really big teaching point too, where someone copies the drill, but their tendency is to rotate from the knee, and their hip isn't actually doing the work. You got another 35 seconds there, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, squeeze it a little bit harder. Try to run away from me a little bit more. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, a lot of shaking going on. Come on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. I'd like to try this leg again one more time, but without the block.
Okay.
You're gonna be hurt tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you have work tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be thinking of us. All right, let's see what you got. So the pivot for the block, right? The block being there can help someone learn how to keep it there. But if they have the tendency that you have where you push your knees together too much and this is taking over more of the work than this, then we're gonna remove the block and have you just isolate internal rotation here. Do we have that contracting? Yeah. Do you feel it as much as the other side?
Yeah.
You do. Do you feel how not as far you're going though?
Yeah.
You feel like you have less range, right?
Definitely.
Hold it. Let's go for another 25 seconds and then we'll move on. Go ahead and relax that. Does that make sense?
I did not feel it as like, I felt it in the beginning only because we did that and it's already like
worked up.
Tired.
Yeah.
But like holding it, I couldn't really feel it.
It doesn't turn on the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is go revisit the 90-90 because the idea is that this would help facilitate that because it doesn't want to turn on. I see an argument to be made that you should come back and do this again after that to like finish it off, right? Like really burn your hips out. So the idea is that these two types of drills complement one another, right? So like if we're like trying to structure your internal training, you do both, but however you need it, right? Like if you were like, oh, I don't need to do this first because it works fine there, then like that's fine for you. But if your hip doesn't turn on this side, this is your way of turning it on so that you can go ahead and actually train your hip without compensating at the knee.
Right.
Does that make sense? Let's go revisit the 90-90.